Alright, welcome back to the channel. Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we've got the Sunday preview. Make sure you like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Age of Sigmar, and of course, Warcry content. And that's what's coming today. Let's take a look.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Warhammer. My name's Wade and I'm here to guide you through the next 7 days in your favourite hobby. Next week will bring with it a load of cool pre-orders, taking us from the Bloodwind spoil to Middle-earth, via the depths of the Underhive and the skies of the 41st millennium. The new Tome of Champions for Warcry contains tons of new and updated content for whichever way you prefer to play this skirmish game set in the Mortal Realms. This year's book also contains comprehensive rules for using Warhammer Underworld's characters in Warcry. Along with the Tome of Champions, you'll be able to pre-order 5 new Warcry Warbands. Choose from the swift and deadly daughters of Khaine, the stoic Lumineth Realm-lords, the depraved Heed Knights of Slaneesh, the imposing Thunderstrike Stormcast Eternals, and the cunning Kruleboyz. Each of these kits is a quick way to create a warband, and they're perfect for both new and experienced Warcry players alike. Hot on the heels of the new Tau Empire Codex is a range of classic Tau ethereals being made to order. All 4 are great options to lead your army, inspiring nearby forces and calling down the invocations of the ethereals to overcome any that would stand against the greater good. These ethereals are only available to order for 9 days, so act fast to get your hands on them. Speaking of made to order, several classic Middle-earth sets are also making a comeback next Saturday. The Moria Goblin Shaman, Lorien Elf Archers, Haldir's Elves with Swords, Haldir's Elves with Bows, Galadriel, Protectress of Lothlorien, Easterling Warriors Warband, Captain of Dale, Armoured Moria Goblins all return for a limited time. The Zone Mortalis Underhive Sector is a massive box which includes a whopping 106 pieces of terrain and accessories. Give your gangers something to fight over, round and through, with multi-layered terrain that lets your fighters battle up flights of stairs and blow open doors. While the set makes a stunning Underhive sector, you could also use it to create an abandoned outpost or a long-forgotten city on your battlefield for games of Warhammer 40,000 or the Horus Heresy. In hot pursuit of the new Necron Doomscythe and Nightshroud miniatures come aerial reinforcements for the Asuryani. The Vampire Raider is the first Asuryani aircraft to have a transport capacity, so you can now play as the attacker in scenarios such as Subterranean Assault from the Taros Air War campaign book. For those who prefer to rip out the passenger seats and add even more weaponry, there's the Vampire Hunter. This heavy ground attack bomber is perfect for taking out even the hardiest of enemy ground assets. Both planes will be available to pre-order from Friday from the Forge World web store. February's White Dwarf is absolutely packed with incredible hobby content. This month's issue features rules for fielding the sinister aeldari from the Eltansar craft world in your games of Warhammer 40,000, updated rules for Beasts of Chaos, and a guide to making banners for your Titans and Adeptus Titanicus. Warhammer Plus has a new Citadel Colour Masterclass painting guide for painting Tau skin tones this week. There's also an episode of Loremasters discussing Storm Vaults, so you can find out more about these mysterious magical chambers and the powerful artefacts contained within. The Warhammer Vault adds the lore and background from the Imperial Armour supplement, The Doom of Mimera, which sees the Eldari fighting a bitter war against the Astra Militarum and the Space Wolves.
Alright, so we see that we have the new Tome of Champions for Warcry coming. Contains tons of new and updated content for whichever way you prefer to play the skirmish game set in the Mortal Realms. So whether you like open play, narrative play, match play, or campaign play, there's something here for you. Along with points updates for every Grand Alliance, there are new Fated quests, narrative campaigns, new branching quests, and tournament packs to make organizing a Warcry event easier than ever. So it says Tome of Champions 2021, but obviously must have been delayed because it is now 2022. So this year's book also contains comprehensive rules for using Warhammer Underworld's characters in Warcry. So if you've ever dreamed of adding the fighters from Spikeclaw Swarm, Mollog's Mob, the Grimwatch to your forces, now you can. Along with the Tome of Champions, you'll be able to pre-order 5 new Warcry Warbands, each containing a varied selection of fighters and the cards you need to field them in your games. The swift and deadly Daughters of Khaine can turn an enemy fighter into crystal with just a glance. The stoic Lumineth Realm-lords can bring down foes with the guidance of sharp-eyed Scryhawk. The depraved Slaneesh Sybarites can move and strike as they slay enemies, allowing these narcissistic warriors to cleave through multiple fighters. The imposing Thunderstrike Stormcast Eternals can call down falling stars to damage even the mightiest of foes. And finally, the cunning Kruleboyz are deadly at a distance with their man skewer bolt boys. Alright, so this is great. We see Warcry packs specifically for these different factions. These will include the tokens for the faction, the cards for the faction, and then a blend of models. So this is cool because it actually includes 5 of the Vindictors and 3 of the Annihilators in the Stormcast box. And then for the Daughters of Khaine, looks like we have 5 of the, man, I don't know the name of them, the Medusae. They're like the snake bottom girls. And then 10 of the Witches. And for the Lumineth, looks like 5 of the Archers and then 10 of the Spear and Shieldmen. And then for the Slaneesh Sybarites, tough to see exactly what's going on with these. It looks like the same thing. There's the maybe like 10 and 5 with these. I'll have to look a little more in depth with these. It's tough to tell from the pictures, and they didn't give us the best way to see. And then here we have the Kruleboyz. I see 1-man skewer bolt boy, 2-man skewer bolt boys. I think they come in 3s though, so that is strange. And then we see this looks like a different killaboss right here. These may be some custom models. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think this may be, oh man, it's tough to tell here. Yeah, this one's kind of up in there. This looks like the full man skewer bolt boy kit right here. And then this is the boss that comes in the kit. So not like the easy to build ones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The banner is 5. That's a man skewer bolt boy right there. 6, 7. That's the musician. Is 8, 9, and then he's the 10th. Yeah, okay. So this looks like this is going to be the full kit of the Kruleboyz that can be built with spears or like the hand weapons. And then this is like the sergeant from the squad. There's a 3rd man skewer bolt boy right here, here, and here. So this is the full kit of the Kruleboyz and the man skewers. So it looks like each of these boxes is 2 of the non-easy to build sets. So this is 5 of the regular Vindictors and 3 of the Annihilators. So these will have either the 2-handed hammers or the hammer and shields. So these are probably going to be a nice deal, because previously when they did these sets, they sold out immediately and they were never available again. It was like a one and done type thing. And these were, I believe, $50, and they came with the tokens that are specific to the faction, and they also came with the cards. And those tokens and cards were only ever available in these sets. And the actual sets were the same type of thing, where it was like 2 kits in one. So if these are anywhere around $50, just like the Annihilators alone, I think are like $45 for 3. So these could be a good deal. The man skewer bolt boys, I think, are 3 for $45. And I think the Kruleboyz are 10 for $45. So these could be like really good deals. We'll have to see. And then these, I just don't know these models that well, but I believe you get 5 of these more heavily armored guys in a box. So there's 1 right there, 2 right there. Man, I'm having trouble picking them out. I really don't know with these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's a 3rd one right there. So that's 1, 2, 3. There should be 2 more of them somewhere with a shield that I'm just not able to see. And then we have these chicks all have the archer. These are all the archers. Oh, there's another one. That's a musician. So yeah, it looks like you get 5 of these guys with the shields and swords, and then 10 of the chicks with the bows, and that's like the leader of the bow girls maybe. And those will have 2 different ways to build them as well. So these are going to be really nice sets. Really nice sets. Yeah, and then here we'll see 5 of the bowmen and 10 of the spear guys. And then this is like the leader of the spearmen. And I think the spearmen can be built with either the hammers or the spears. Again, let's count these. 1 archer, 2, 3 archers, 4, 5 archers, and then 1 hammer, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay. So this is the same thing again. These spearmen can be built with either the hammers or the spears. So you can do a mix of them like we see here pictured. And it's going to be 10 and 5 again. So these are, if these come in anywhere near like $50 to $65, these are a really good deal. Because if you literally just buy the 2 individual kits of models from these sets alone, they're going to come in close to like $90. So even if the cards and the tokens are only worth $15 to you, which this was the only way to get them previously and they sold out immediately, that puts these sets at like close to $100 to $110. So these should be a really good deal. I'm definitely looking forward to these. Definitely would pick those up if there's any of them you're interested in, because they sold out quick last time. And then for Warhammer 40,000, hot on the heels of the new Codex Tau Empire is a range of classic Tau etherals being made to order. All 4 are great options to lead your army, inspiring nearby forces and calling down the invocations of the etherals to overcome, and who would stand against the greater good. So these are like basically fine cast models that are going to be made to order. These are all old models. Probably like your last chance to get them at least anytime soon. The models don't look terrible. I really don't like fine cast. I think it's horrible. They break really easily. They don't fit together right, so you have to do a bunch of work to clean them up and everything. I would much rather buy the regular ethereal kit and just convert him. If you need more than one, just make them look different. Middle-earth strategy battle game. Speaking of made to order, several classic Middle-earth sets are also coming to the comeback next Saturday. The Moria Goblin Shaman adds magic to your scurrying army, transfixing foes before your horde overwhelms them, while the armored Moria Goblins offer a variety of weapons with which to dispatch any foe. The Easterling Warriors Warband creates a wall of blades for your enemies to break against, especially with the support of their new heroes. And for the forces of good, Lorien elf archers are perfect skirmishers thanks to their skillful archery and evasion, especially led by Galadriel, protectress of Lothlorien, who can unleash a variety of powerful spells. Haldir's elves with the swords and Haldir's elves with bows are perfect for recreating the defenders from Helm's Deep, and the captain of Dale can perform a heroic match to drive the warriors of Dale forward onto victory. So we see basically a pack of goblins, like champion, pack of Brohims, and the caster. I'm not going to lie, these Lord of the Rings models just look like Games Workshop's models from like 20 years ago. They're just absolutely horrendous. If you like the game, no offense. They all return for a limited time, so if you want them, you better grab them while you can. Necromunda. You can build an entire Underhive sector with this gigantic box, which includes a whopping 106 pieces of terrain and accessories. Give your gamers something to fight over, around and through, with multi-layered terrain. Lets your fighters battle up the flights of stairs and blow open doors. Alright, so I'm assuming this is going to be around $200. We see here, this is the gang stronghold. That alone is $90. We see here components from the like scatter terrain sprue. That is available, like 2 of those for $30. So say $15 to that. So that's $105 in value. And then we see 2 of the door sprues, which will have 2 big doors and 2 little doors. I don't actually see the little doors, but they all come on one sprue, so I know they're in here somewhere. And I think that's like $40 or $50. We see 1 of the thermic plasma conduits sprues, which we see like laid out here. Those are not available separately currently, but typically go for around like $30 or so a sprue. And then we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the pillars. So that is 5 sprues of those because there's 2 on each. And then we see 1 elevator. And there's 1 on each. So that's 2 elevator sprues to make that elevator. And then we see 1, 2 sets of stairs, 3, 4 sets of stairs. So this is probably $250 This is probably close to 250 to 300 worth of terrain. So I'm assuming this box is probably going to come in around 200. This is a nice amount of terrain too. It's tough to tell from this picture, but this is a lot of sprues worth of terrain. This thing alone is basically, I use this alone to almost fill up a kill team board with just a couple extra of these. I think I used like 4 of those, and it filled up a kill team board nicely. So with everything that's right here, you could easily probably fill up a very, very dense kill team board, or 2 boards side by side. So like a 30 by 44, or like a mid-size Warhammer 40,000 game, or a large Necromunda game. This is a lot of stuff. I'm trying to think. This right here is everything that came in Dark Uprising, I feel like. I think this is the terrain from Dark Uprising, Necromunda. So if you figure you don't get any of the books, the dice, or the models, I believe this is the full Dark Uprising set, and then this is the Gang Stronghold set. So that Dark Uprising set I think was $290, I believe. So I don't think it's unrealistic to think that this would be $290. Man, I don't know how they're going to price this. I'm really not sure. Because all this terrain came in it, but it came with the books and the models and the dice and the templates and all that stuff too. So I don't know if they'll leave it at $290 and then just swap this in for all that stuff, in which case it's not that great of a deal. But if it comes in around $200, this is a really good deal. So we'll have to see on this. Maybe if it's like $245, it's a pretty good deal. If it's $200, it's a really good deal. If it's $290, it's an okay deal. That's kind of how I look at it. And probably it's going to come in around $245, in which case it'll still be a good deal. It is a lot of terrain, but it's not going to be like a steal or anything. I think right now you could buy all this for probably around like $260 from the shop or something. So it's got to be less than that. I'll have to dive a little deeper into that and look exactly, but I believe that's all the terrain from Dark Uprising plus the Gang Stronghold. Let me know if anybody plays Auronautica Imperialis or Titanicus. I'm not sure. I don't know anyone that plays them, but I don't mind keeping looking at the stuff as long as you guys are interested. But here for Auronautica Imperialis, hot on the heels of the new Necron Doomsith and Night Shroud miniatures come aerial reinforcements for the Asuryani. The Vampire Raider is the first Asuryani aircraft to have a transport capacity, so you can now play as the attacker in scenarios such as Subterranean Assault from the Taros Air War Campaign book. So whoever wrote this article is literally just saying exactly what the dude just said. So pretty cool looking plane. And for those who prefer to rip out the passenger seats and go more weaponry, here is the Vampire Hunter. This heavy ground attack bomber is perfect for taking out even the hardiest of enemy ground assets. So this is the transport version, couple less guns. This is the bomber version with these giant guns and instead of the little guns, and then no transport capacity because they got to have the stuff to power the guns. And then we see a new White Dwarf come in here. And they mentioned what's in it, but it's 473. So something Flashpoint Knockmoon, 40k Grand Tournament Battle Report, new rules for the Beasts of Chaos. Oh man, they needed some new rules, so I hope they're good. Index Xenos Craftword, Alton Star. So it's a craft world specifically that you can use rules for. Warcry rules for battles in Thondia. Titanicus Honor banners. They said how to make banners basically. And much more for Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. And then we see here some official licensed products, some key fobs, a purity seal, kind of looks like a boxing glove, an Aquila, and a Space Marine head. Hooray. And we see a pin badge for the Sigmarines, and then some Warhammer Plus content. So yeah, that's it for this week's releases. This is a great release for Necromunda. I love to see this all bundled together. Hopefully the pricing will be nice on this. I would love to see this come at $200 for pricing. I would love to see it come in at that. I have all this terrain already, but this stuff is absolutely amazing. And it's so modular. You can build this a million different ways. Yeah, this has got to be everything from the set. So yeah, that's really nice. Hopefully it comes in at a good price. Good stuff for Middle Earth. Not worried about the ethereals. This new book right here, I kind of glossed over it a little bit earlier, but the book has all the rules for all the little warbands from Underworlds. So you can now take whatever Underworlds models you have, the little mini warbands that they have, that's kind of like just a blend of bros, and it will have points for all of them. So like the ones I thought that were pretty cool are like the vampires. You could basically take those vampires now and add them into like an undead warband. And then also on top of that, there will be some rules amendments and everything, or point amendments. And then, of course, this is what really has me excited. These are great deals. Absolutely phenomenal deals. Again, each one of these has easily got, if you assume the tokens and cards are only worth $15, which I would say they're easily worth $25 because it's the only way to get them is in these kits. I would say that each of these boxes easily has $110 to $115 worth of value in them. So if they come in at $50 to $65, they will be a great deal. At $75, they'll still be a good deal, but not as good. Anything over that, and they're just making you pay for the cards and tokens. So that's it for this week's reveals. Definitely excited about this. This is big for Warcry. It's been a while since Warcry got some love. So between the book and these new sets, I am super excited. I will definitely be grabbing up some of these because I was wondering, it's kind of difficult unless you have a bunch of different kits to kind of piece together a warband for some of the traditional Warcry ones, because you have to mix a couple guys from this, a couple guys from that. So it can be very expensive to buy a Warcry warband. This is a great opportunity if you like one or more of these factions to get them while they're hot. And I will definitely pick up the book and I'll take a look at that and let you guys know how that is when it comes in. I will be picking up some of these as well. But that is it for today. Make sure you like and subscribe for Warhammer 40,000, Kill Team, Necromunda, Warcry, Age of Sigmar content. I am Warhammer Man. This is Warhammer Man Studios, and I'm out of here.